Hi everyone, this is FGC Translated. Ingrid has officially hit Street Fighter 6, and the Japanese players are already labbing her moves. Today, we're looking at the Day 1 impressions from some of the top Japanese players, Daigo, Mago, Kawano, Shuto, and Bonchan. First up is Daigo the Beast. From the beginning of his session, he was not impressed with her normal attacks. He tested her crouching medium kick and her jabs, and noted that her light and medium attacks have very short reach. He questioned if she possessed any reliable buttons for the neutral game. He wondered if she had any tool that could be used in neutral. Later in his testing, Daigo found that her forward heavy punch is strong, while her light attacks lack range. This heavy attack has long horizontal reach. It also can be confirmed into high damage. Daigo showed how this specific button routes into her OD move and connects directly to her level 3 super art. He noted her damage output is high when she lands this attack. Even with this damage, Daigo maintained his stance, stating that her normal attacks are garbage. He acknowledged her special moves and stock mechanics are strong. However, because most of her normal attacks are weak, he expressed that she needs to rely on her forward heavy punch, but even that move can be parried on reaction. Because of these factors, Daigo stated she's not the female guy he thought she could be. It was not that he was actively looking for a replacement for Rakuma. However, he thought she could be a character with a versatile toolkit who controls the screen using reliable normals and a stable game plan, but she lacks a get off of me kind of move, and that's why he doesn't think it's easy to be consistent with Ingrid. After playing against CPU Ingrid, Daigo explained his thoughts on Ingrid's matchups. He said Ingrid might be pretty good, especially for characters without anti-projectile moves, but if she faces characters with anti-projectile moves, she will struggle. He says she would be extremely good in some matchups, but not so much in other matchups. He thinks Ingrid might be good against Guile, Zangief, and possibly Ed, but she'd be a terrible pick for characters like Manon and Bison. Next up is Mago. He immediately noticed some weaknesses. He stated plainly that she does not look strong, primarily because her normal attacks are severely lacking. If you try to play a traditional stand or ground game with her, you're going to struggle. He noted that players will be forced to adopt a different playstyle just to have a chance of winning with this character. Moving into his overall impression of the character, Mago emphasized that her toolkit simply does not fit his personal preferences. One major issue he pointed out is her drive rush. Unlike characters who get an immediate burst of speed, Ingrid's drive rush is very slow at the start and only accelerates during the latter half of the animation. Because of this, it is incredibly difficult for her to maintain offensive pressure or to enforce Oki on a knockdown opponent using drive rush. However, he did praise her projectile game. He stated that her fireballs are very good and give her strong presence at long range, even though she severely lacks defensive options once the opponent managed to close the distance. Mago expanded on why her projectiles are her best feature, but he pointed out one issue. While her zoned out shooting mode and upgraded beams are powerful, he compared her structural design to Jamie. Just like Jamie needs to drink to become a real threat, Ingrid needs to build her stocks to access her best projectiles. The problem is that she cannot easily start mashing fireballs from the beginning of the round. She might have a difficult time safely securing that initial stock. Figuring out how to survive the early game and transition into her powerful shooting mode will be the biggest hurdle for players. Finally, when ranking her Day 1 potential out of 10 compared to other DLC releases, Mago gave a strict evaluation. He rated M. Bison a 9 out of 10 on release and Terry a 3.5. He gave Mai an 8 out of 10. Factoring in her future potential, he gave Ingrid a score of 4 out of 10. He concluded that she would definitely be a highly annoying character to fight against, and players will absolutely complain about her zoner playstyle, but despite how frustrating she might be to chase down, he stated that she will not be a broken character. Next player is Kawano. According to him, while her jab and light kick have decent reach, they feel overall underwhelming. Kawano noted that her light attacks are pretty short, comparing them to characters like Juri, who does not get any conversion from a counter hit with her light attacks. Because of this, she struggles to link combos or maintain pressure after landing hits in a scramble. However, once Kawano shifted his focus to her damage potential, his tone changed. He discovered that her forward heavy punch is a strong move, acting as a starter for high damage combos. Kawano concluded that Ingrid is a typical long-range character. Her projectile game is the centerpiece of her kit, and it is remarkably versatile. Depending on how many stocks you have managed to build, these beams can be used to control the pace of the match, exert relentless pressure, or convert into massive damage. He emphasized that Ingrid isn't designed to be a close-quarters brawler. Instead, her entire game plan revolves around how effectively a player can manage these projectiles tools to keep the opponent frustrated and held at bay. Finally, looking at her jump moves, Kawano found her neutral jump is an interesting move. He realized that her neutral jump gives her 3 options: firing a beam, building up her stocks, or not doing anything. He said these options make her neutral jump pretty strong. He compared the psychological pressure of her neutral jump to Honda's neutral jump. Just by existing in the air, she makes the opponent second guess their approach. He used DJ to see if he can react and punish her mid-air charge with Drive Rush, but he found out that although it's not easy, it is possible to punish the move. However, he continues to discuss that the point of her neutral jump should not be about having the opponent guess whether she will fire a beam or charge mid-air. He said the most annoying option would be her jumping in place and actually not doing anything. This would force the opponent to focus on punishing her neutral jump without having too much risk. And when her opponent is focused too much on her neutral jump, Ingrid can throw a fireball and start her offense. Next player is Shuto. First, Shuto evaluates her overall and predicts her long-term trajectory in the competitive scene. Whether she turns out to be strong or not will depend on her level 2 super art. Shuto points out a historical trend in fighting games. Characters designed with this type of move almost always had highly useful setups. While her normals and other special moves didn't impress Shuto, he said that her SA2 has huge potential. Shuto anticipates that once the community has enough time to optimize her setups, her SA2 will be incredibly strong. He points out that her SA2 functions exactly like Urien from Street Fighter V, especially the fact that she gets a combo after a throw. In Street Fighter V, Urien was infamous for his Aegis Reflector, a tool that controlled screen space, trapped the opponent, and enabled ambiguous mix-ups. And just like Urien, Ingrid's SA2 gives her a combo after a throw. And with this, Shuto says Ingrid is the new Urien. The last player is Bonchan. Bonchan highlighted just how exceptionally strong Ingrid's fireball is. He noted that simply tossing out this projectile allows her to completely dictate the pace of the match. It creates an immediate wall of pressure that dominates the neutral game, forcing the opponent to slow down and play exactly the way she wants. Then Bonchan quickly discovered that following up her fireball with a drive rush creates a powerful offensive sequence. He was surprised by how incredibly simple it is to execute, yet the pressure it applies is relentless. You're forcing the opponent to get on defense while you close the gap safely behind her fireball. Now you might be thinking, just perfect parry the fireball and take your turn back, right? Well, Bonchan tested that exact counterplay and he struggled because the timing is so difficult to nail down. Her opponent cannot just rely on an easy, perfect parry to negate her fireballs. And he commented that it was difficult to perfect parry her fireballs even when he knew they were coming. Finally, we have to talk about her teleport. When you combine her teleport move with that oppressive fireball, it's really hard to stop her, adding a whole new layer of mental stack for the opponent. Alright, do you agree or disagree with what they said? Leave a comment and let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, and see you soon.